Hello, everybody, and welcome to Conservatish, episode 247. My name is Peter Feliciano. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Make sure you comment, leave a review. That helps the algorithm and other dumb crap that influencers like me have to say. You can find me on Instagram at Peter_Feliciano, on Twitter at Rule62Peter, and you can support my podcast and my music at patreon.com/conservatish. Ladies and gentlemen, John Joseph is our guest today, former lead singer of the Cro-Mags and now current lead singer of Bloodclot. They just released an album a month ago called Souls. It's incredible. Make sure you go listen to that. But this man is also a former druggie like me, and has helped a lot of prisoners. And has is into bhakti yoga and into discipline coaching. He's a not full figured, a character. Yeah, exactly. Renaissance man.
I love that shit.
He's a Renaissance man, and it's a privilege to have you on. Thank you so much, John.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad we could finally make it happen. We met at the Zuby meetup in Central Park like a year and a half ago or something, and
yeah, it must have been like a year and a half.
Trying to make it happen, but scheduling conflict. So here we are. Nonetheless,
here we are. I'm actually, both of us have left New York. You're down in Florida now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm down in Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah, oh man, I got mad peoples down there, man. Fucking yeah. So Austin's bumping, dude.
It really is, and not only because it's, I kind of feel like it's libertarian central. Like, you know what I mean? Like it sure has a lot of different, blue areas, if you want to call it, or hipsters, whatever you want to call it. But you throw a rock in any direction, you hit a good old boy. You know what I mean? They have to have signs up at the Starbucks, at the shishi, coffee place. Don't bring your gun in here. It's like, I like that vibe,
Hey, people should be able to live how the fuck they want and coexist and all that shit, man,
Right.
That's I live over here in farm country, north of Gainesville, and everybody's respectful and cool, and everybody's strapped, so
right.
Nobody's climbing in your windows at night or fucking trying to like carjack you or fucking do these flash mobs in the stores, because it's they're not gonna get away with it the way they are in New York and the rest of the cities. And I just do my thing, man. I'm down here. I moved for several reasons. First of all, I'm an Ironman, so the 3 months of no training outdoors in New York, I'm out here riding in fucking shorts now, and running outside yesterday. It was like 67, beautiful. So, but ultimately it was not just that I moved. It was a lot of other factors involved too. So,
Right. I think one of the main factors that got me, obviously, I'm a musician as well, singer-songwriter, and I couldn't perform in New York for 7 months, 9 months.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I couldn't perform because of pandemic stuff, and everybody's locked down and they're shutting down businesses and clubs. And then when they finally start to open it up, I don't have the chemical, I don't have that certain chemical in my body, and now
yeah, that was a bunch of bullshit, dude. Like the whole thing, now that the evidence is coming out, it was clear it was a fucking money grab, and the government doesn't have a right to fucking do that shit to people. I mean, I was there too, dude. I got locked out of restaurants. My gym kicked me out. Couldn't go in, and I wasn't going to do the fake zip papers. I don't roll. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not going to fucking participate in this bullshit. And I didn't. And, we just did our thing. And, we did that show in Tompkins Square Park, and people lost their fucking shit, like April 2021.
Oh, yeah? How did that go?
It was like 3,500 people there. Meanwhile, there's a big hip hop thing going on in the back of the park with like fucking 500 people in the basketball court smoking fucking passing blunts around. Nobody said shit, but it's like the punk rock scene and the hardcore scene around the world attacked us for doing that fucking show. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. This was, wait a minute. Everybody could do their protests and have fucking thousands of people in the fucking streets, not wearing masks, not doing anything. Some of them taking advantage of that to fucking smash and grab and fucking do crime and dirt. I got chased fucking with baseball bats one night when the riots were happening down where I live because I was white.
Right.
So, you know, when someone says, get that white motherfucker, that's what they mean. So, get that white motherfucker.
So if
And
you're
so we did the concert. You know, the idea led to like, hey, you know, it was Chris Garver's birthday, right? His 50th or whatever. And it was locked down. He you know, he's a pretty famous tattoo artist from you know, he was on Miami Ink and all that. Now he has a shop in New York, right? So the guys hit me up. They're like, yo, we want to do this concert and play some Cro-Mags songs for Chris. So they rented this box truck and set it with all the gear and a PA inside of the fucking truck, big box truck outside the tattoo shop. They walked him up on his birthday. And when he got there, they fucking threw open the back and we just started jamming on some Cro-Mags shit, right? And he was like, what the fuck? Dude, it was like that U2 video when they played on the roof in LA. Right. Like cars stopped, people got out, everybody was just so happy to fucking hear some music. Like, you know, like this cycling group came by, like street messengers, fucking 50 of them. It was like, dude, it was like the most amazing thing. And I was like, people want music, man. So then I went to Cousin Joe from the Black and Blue. I said, yo, we got to do one of these concerts, man, and do a box truck. It just so happened that he was connected to the dude who did the park shows in Tompkins Square Park. So he had a date available and we jumped on it. We, you know, listen, the bands were like made up of every fucking ethnicity you could possibly imagine. There was even a Black Lives Matter's fucking fundraising table there. We served vegetarian food to the homeless. We had the Hare Krishnas there. Like, it was just, you know, you had Black, Spanish, fucking every ethnicity in the bands. And how did the media spin it? It was fucking white power, white supremacy, fucking like, I'm like, you do see that this other band's lead singer is Black, right? But they just spun and they told a bunch of lies. The punk rock hardcore motherfuckers were like, fuck these people, anybody involved in this concert. I'm like, this was our form of protest. We're musicians. We did a protest and it was in Tompkins Square Park. You know, we had a permit. A lot of people rolled up just because, hey, they got sick of the lockdowns. Politicians telling you to lock down. They didn't lock down. They destroyed fucking businesses, everything. People were over it, man. And all the fucking punk rock hardcore motherfuckers had to talk shit against us and try to cancel us for doing the fucking show, saying we lied about the permit. Like, it was on every news channel, even like not current affair, like entertain, like, you know, those fucking
right.
Extra, all that shit. Like, they made it this big, huge thing. Here's the thing. The city opened up the next day. That Monday, they canceled all the mandates and people were packed inside of fucking Shea Stadium, Yankee Stadium. The reason they didn't like what we did is because we talked out on stage and we passed out information and it was a gathering of people that said, fuck you to this fucking government and the shit that they fucking pulled. That was the fucking thing that fucking got their panties in a bunch. That's why they fucking came after us. And the hardcore motherfuckers and the punk rock motherfuckers, I can't even believe the sellouts that so many of these people who I thought would be standing. And I'm not saying like there was a lot of people that were like, fuck this shit. They don't go on social media. They don't talk about it. But yo, they were with the people that stood up. But then you get this small percentage of these fucking loudmouths on social media, which gives them now a platform to say shit that if, you know, they would never say to your face on the street or whatever, or make up lies. And, you know, they just, you know, they run their mouth. And we just did what we wanted to do. We had a great fucking time. People were crying, man. They brought their fucking kids there. It was like families fucking bringing their younger kids to see the bands that they grew up on. It was like this beautiful day. And then all of a sudden this backlash happens. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Right. Not only,
And yeah,
yeah, yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I had the same experience in New York Freedom Rally. Did you ever go to one of those New York Freedom rallies?
Nah, I watched them, but you know,
Yeah. So New York Freedom Rally, held all these rallies, and they're still kicking ass over there in New York. And my experience was all across the board. I would go to these, and it was the blackest protests. It was the most racially diverse. There was people from every walks of life.
hell yeah.
Right.
Well,
And
right. Go
people
ahead.
who were pro mandate the most were, in my personal opinion, I use identity
The
politics.
white liberals. Thank you. You could fucking say it.
Absolutely. It's the white liberals, and mostly the ones from out of town. They're not fucking,
right.
they're not white liberals from New York. They're
That's
from
right.
Connecticut. They're from
Motherfuckers that grew up where I did in Alphabet City, they wasn't down with all that shit. And I got to tell you something else, because somebody just wrote yesterday, it's your white privilege that you could not take the vaccine and you have this amazing health insurance. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have health insurance. And what the fuck are you talking about? I said, you know who the main ones were that opted out of the vaccine because of the fucking dirt the government did to them, Tuskegee experiments, the fucking Operation Mockingbird, 16 or 17 government fucking programs testing drugs on inmates and fucking the military and other people without their knowledge, sometimes against their will. It was the fucking black and brown people. That's why they went out there trying to pay motherfuckers to take that shit and get their so-called celebrities. Hey, do what, it's not about you. This is about love for everybody else. Fuck you. You got paid. You played Vax Live and got paid millions of dollars to come on TV and fucking promote that shit. I just stayed true to what I've always done. I never trusted the government. I wrote books about the crooked corporation that is the big pharma industry. I'm well researched. I listen to the other opinions. The guy who did the forward on my last book, Unfuck Your Health, Dr. Joel Kahn, said, hey, watch the video of this doctor that I trained to become a heart surgeon speak in front of the Texas Senate. And that was Dr. Peter McCullough. And he's saying, why are they stopping me from using therapeutics? I've saved thousands of lives. This is insane. Why isn't this being promoted everywhere to save lives? They're acting like there's no treatment. We know there is. And they couldn't get EUA if there was a treatment. So I sent that video to Joe Rogan, who happens to be a friend of mine. I go, yo, Joe, check this shit out. He's like, holy shit, why the fuck would they be doing that? I was like, let's fucking go down the rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. Well, once he had Dr. Peter McCullough and Dr. Robert Malone and giving a voice to the people who were being censored, and motherfuckers that ain't read a book since Superman died are calling guys with PhDs fucking, conspiracy theorist idiots. I'm like, dude, go read a fucking book and shut the fuck up. So that's how that whole other side of that information started coming out. And that's what Joe said. Why is there only one guy? Why is there only one guy talking all this shit and nobody else is? I want to know what the other people are saying. That's why his podcast exploded during this whole shit. And then they tried to take him down and cancel him. Oh, he's a racist. Always this, always that. Fuck off. They said that shit about me too. I'm a racist. I'm a homophobe. I'm transphobe. Fucking, I'm white power. I'm down with the Proud Boys. And like, they just kept throwing shit one after another after another.
I'm half
and it's Puerto just Rican. Like, that's what they try to do. They try to discredit your fucking character, I'm
half Puerto Rican. The only time
Boricua,
huepa. The only time I've ever been called a Nazi is by white people.
That's right. And you know what? Listen, man, listen. My whole life, when did I go around asking motherfuckers if they got the flu shot? I don't give a fuck. Do what you want to do. I'm 42 years investing in alternative health. I'm 60 fucking years old, dude. I got some fat motherfucker with a bag of McDonald's telling me I got to wear a mask and get vax to help his fucking life. Shut the fuck up, man. And look at the government. What the fuck did they do? Right? Most of the deaths were either the elderly or obese people with pre-existing condition. You got the mayor in New York eating French fries oh, there's a burger element to this as well. When I think of this, when I think of vaxes, I think of hamburgers and French fries. And they're giving people junk food that's
Right.
killing them. Where's the science, motherfuckers?
The worst part about it, in my personal opinion, is not that they're bullies, because that's one thing. That's horrendous as it is.
Yeah.
Worst part about it is that they're bullies under the guise of being virtuous. When I was growing up in middle school and high school, whatever, at least bullies didn't think they were the motherfucking good guy. These motherfuckers think they're the good guy. That's why you can't pry away. That's why the hypocrisy holding up the mirror to them is not going to help the people who are in the zone of fear, because they believe themselves to be so virtuous. You can't, that's their whole identity.
Yeah.
You can't wrestle that away from somebody. It's insane.
It was mass formation psychosis too. I wrote a lyric, mass formation psychosis all over the place. You're telling me I'm crazy, but it's right in your face. Right. Look what they did to everybody. But the thing that got me was like the motherfuckers that claim to be liberals. See, me personally, I don't fuck with any politics. I look at the issue, and some conservatives, I'm like, hey man, I agree with that. We shouldn't be fucking stripping people's rights. Some of the fucking liberal Democrats, I'm like, yeah, that's a good policy. Like, concentrated animal feeding operations, destroy the fucking planet. Who's destroying the rainforest? The beef industry, so that they could do this fucking these mega fucking places where they kill fucking, graze animals and kill. So listen, I never voted once in my fucking life. Never once. I never voted for a politician. I never fucked with politics. And even these days now, I look at the issue.
Yes.
What's the issue? And just like Johnny Rotten, the lead singer of the Sex Pistols, said, it's fucking blowing me away that the conservatives are the ones who are letting you live your life, and the liberals became a bunch of fucking wankers telling you how to fucking live your fucking life. I'm like, yo, stay in your lane, fucking homie. I survived prison, the streets, getting shot, fucking stabbed, fucking bad foster homes, like the whole shit. Don't try to tell me, and the fear. That's why I never fell for the fear either, because they weaponized fear. It was constant death tolls and this and that and fucking. But the liberals just fucking were like, yo, when did you ever hear you have to take your medicine so my medicine works? Fuck you and your freedom and all this bullshit. I'm like, yo, step the fuck off, man. Step off. Go live your fucking life and do what the fuck you want to do. Just like now, there's so many agendas that they're rolling out that, like, I'm not down. Listen, you want to be trans, you want to be a drag queen, whatever the fuck you want to do, I'm fine with that. Don't take your shit to the kids. 7-year-olds don't need to be learning about fucking sex and transgender and how you live your life. That's not your job. And that's not your job as a teacher. Your job is to teach fucking math skills, science, English. You leave the fucking parents to do that shit. And any parent that would bring their kids to one of them fucking things, seriously, man, you shouldn't be a fucking parent. You need counseling. Right. Because, and I look at it with anything, but then I have a friend who's trans. He's the lead singer of fucking Life of Agony. That's his, that's Mina, that's her thing. I supported him the whole time because he wasn't a kid trying to perp out on fucking kids, and he speaks out against it, and now they're trying to cancel him. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. We're living in like the upside down fucking Twilight Zone world right now, where if you speak up against crazy shit, they're trying to pigeonhole you to some political group. I'm like, motherfucker, find a post where I ever fucking glorified a politician. Find a post where I ever said get out and vote. I criticize every president, Reagan, the Bush 1, Bush 2, all of them, fucking Obama, fucking Trump, fucking Clinton, every fucking one of them, even this guy. And nobody said shit in the punk rock community till I started talking shit against fucking Joe Biden and what he's doing right now. Then, you're a conservative asshole. That's why you moved to Florida, and the rest of the bullshit rhetoric, which You know, hey, I just came back up there to play a show. I said, listen, you got a fucking beef with me? Come and fucking find me, all right? Or we could debate whatever you want to do. Like, I'm down for it. I don't run from nobody. I let everybody know where the fuck I am. You think any one of them shit talking online fucking keyboard commando motherfuckers rolled up? Hell no. Hell no. And that's why I say, just leave me the fuck alone, man. I'm not taking your bullshit government shots. I mean, the thing that got me is the biggest people in punk and music sold out and promoted the shit.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yellow, I don't know if they promoted it.
Well, they performed at a place that required vaccines.
You know what? I have other bands did that too, but here's the thing. They never fucking came. That was the situation. I spoke to Brad, the drummer. I'm friends with him. I saw Zach's first band, Inside Out, opened up, whatever the fuck. I don't know why they're not saying nothing against the World Economic Forum and the rest of the crazy shit. That's got, you know, perhaps the silence speaks a lot. But I have other friends that were in bands that were like, hey, man, I got to feed my kids if that's what they want. They never required the musicians to be vaccinated. You could be a musician and come play in New York unvaccinated, but you couldn't go to the show. And I took the stance, I'm not playing any fucking shows that require that or masks or anything. And some other bands did too. That was my stance.
Right. And I'll bring it to you like this. I also similarly don't, you know, especially a struggling comedian, a struggling musician, somebody who had kids to feed, et cetera, that's one thing. But somebody who has set themselves up to be punk, set themselves up to be the identity of I'm anti-authoritarian, and then
Jello Biafra.
Oh,
Kennedy's open. He stands in he puts a post of a fucking open drawer at the morgue and says, all you anti-vax assholes, take a look at where you're going to be spending your time soon. Like, he pulled that shit down. I wrote that motherfucker, and I'm like, dude, I'll debate you live on fucking Instagram. Let's go. I offered to debate any fucking one of them. Not one took me up on the offer. And I said something against Dave Grohl, who comes from the punk rock scene in DC. Scream, who he played drums for before Nirvana opened up for the Cro-Mags at CBGB's. I knew that whole crew, right? So then he gets in Nirvana and then the Foo Fighters, and he has the Bad Brains come up and sings Bad Brains songs. The Big Take or whatever the fuck. He did The Regulator about how government, the song is about the government trying to control our lives. And then you go and play that concert, Vax Live. I just said, yo, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, like, that's some hypocrisy shit. Yo, they wrote that shit in every magazine, man, calling me this anti-vax for having the freedom of speech to say whatever. People called me a fucking asshole or fucking this, that, the other thing. Oh, he's a fucking plant-based moron. He used to be a crackhead. Whatever. Nobody said shit in my defense. None of the papers rallied to be like, yeah, this guy helps drug addicts now. Like, all this shit. He feeds the homeless. He's done. Nobody came to rally in my defense. But God forbid I said something about the sellouts. The whole fucking music scene turned on me. All of it. They had me in fucking NME in London and fucking all over the fucking place just for calling out somebody being a hypocrite. Imagine that.
And not only someone being a hypocrite, but it's also just as bad. So even if they had good intentions, which I think most of them did, I don't believe the lizards at the top have good intentions, but I don't think the WEF does. I don't think government does. But even people like that who are supporting it, who really think that the vax worked, who really think that it's a good idea, why would you even make the step to tell everybody what's best for them? Hey, guys, it's a good idea if you do. That's cornball fucking bullshit.
And if you watch if you watched it, which I did, between every band was a running thing from fucking all the motherfuckers, Bill Gates, the CD. It was just like big farm, like you know, I gotta hear from the dude from fucking Lizer, you know, telling me why I gotta do this. But the whole thing was like they made it seem they ostracized everybody from the community. Everybody talked shit. We should be in camps. We should be fucking not working. Let them die if they go to the hospital. Fucking that fucking piece of shit, Jimmy Kimmel. Fuck him. Fuck all those motherfuckers that said that shit, because now they're not saying anything. Because the truth is coming out, and the truth is always going to come out. But here's the deal. I come from the streets. When someone does dirt, and I know they're dirty motherfuckers, am I going to trust them motherfuckers? Hell no. They got to earn that trust. So when I looked at the history of AstraZeneca, of fucking J&J, of fucking Moderna and Pfizer, these motherfuckers paid the biggest fines in history for fraud, for fucking paying people to lie about trial results, hiding trial data. Like, you know, I just was like, I'm like, hold on. I'm not anti anything. I'm hesitant.
Right.
That's the difference. I was hesitant. And then when the trial data came out and I started seeing what was happening to everybody, getting fucked up, all these motherfuckers dropping like flies everywhere now, I'm like, thank God I made the choice that I did. I trusted my immune system. When I got COVID, I beat it in 3 or 4 fucking days. I was up and about, you know, and I got the antibodies, and I was like, I'm not taking that shit.
Right. So here's my thought as far as it goes. I love, by the way, I said thought. Every time I start talking to a New Yorker, my accent comes out. Drinking some coffee. But here's my thought as far as you said, you know, it was fear. It was, in my personal opinion, was a psyop way back, you know, as far as getting people into white guilt. Once you got them feeling guilty.
Event 201, come on, man. Like,
Now,
pay attention.
but the reason why I've seen across the board, people, not everybody, but a lot of people who are hesitant because of past experience, because of, you know, reputation, well earned, i.e. the government, right? All funds and all that stuff, were people who were taking care of themselves, meaning they weren't susceptible to the guilt. They weren't susceptible to the fear because they had already realized they knew who they were, right? They were already taking stock, inventory, whatever you want to call it, regularly. They were meditating. They were taking care of their body. They were across the board. These are people who were not played easily because they knew themselves. And you're one of those people. I'm one of those people.
Right.
You're somebody who's worked on yourself for years and, you know, changed and stuff and whatever. Once that happens and you already have that basis, that foundation of, I know who the fuck I am. I'm white, so that means I'm bad. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I know who I and I have a shit ton of, you know what I'm saying? I know the activism I've done, et cetera, the people have helped. So I think that just use that, everybody, if you're listening, use that as a lesson. If you're taking care of yourself, you're less susceptible to fucking psyops. If you're trusting yourself, you're less susceptible to fear and guilt.
Well, there was a lot of people that posed themselves like that. The biggest fucking, like, the biggest fucking people, like the yoga studios and all the ones who were into the alternative consciousness, they were the worst. They're still saying it can't come in without 3 boosters. The vegans, okay? I'm vegan for the animals. Oh, yeah, motherfucker? Well, guess what? Every animal in the trials fucking died, and it's got dead animal cells in the shit. So tell me about your veganism, please. I've been doing that diet longer than any of them. I don't call it that. I just say I'm plant-based because I'm not a douchebag about it. But all the judgmental shit, and then they turn around and they're like, do it for everybody else. You know? And the people who got into yoga, they were also the worst. And some of those alternative health and mindset people turned out to be, they folded like cheap fucking Kmart suits under the pressure. So there's also a lot of motherfuckers that pretended to, and the punk rockers, we're anti, you know. I saw, what was the post? I have a healthy something distrust for the government, and I'm vaccinated. Like, no, you don't. You have a healthy, punk rockers were wearing that shit like a badge of honor. All of them fucking bands. I have a healthy distrust for the government, and I'm vaccinated. Like, no, if you had a healthy distrust for the government, you would have fucking waited and not fucking fell for the, you know, when they got to push something 24 fucking 7 in the media.
That's what it was for me.
Red flags need to go up because, like, you know, the way they made it sound, and I was in New York, there was, yeah, I thought I was going to see bodies dropping in the fucking street and everything else. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to tell you this, I have people that work in hospitals and they're like, dude, we're not getting overrun. We're, you know, like, and then I even went around and filmed it. I went to the different hospitals. No ambulances rushing people in. No fucking, you know, emergency rooms filled with fucking bodies stacked up. I'm like, something's not adding up. The triage center in Central Park, I went up there, all them tents, they shot it on the news. Nobody went in there. And then there was the boat. I filmed that too. They had to put up, they blocked out the fence so nobody could take fucking pictures of it. And in Central Park, I'm there with this press person from like South America. And I was like, where the fuck is everybody? She's like, this is my second day here. I haven't seen them bring one person in there. And she's like, something else is going on. The Javits, there was like 8 people in there. Like, it's just, they promoted the fear. And I put up the videos and they took it down and they said my YouTube channel account was going to get deleted if I posted any more misleading, false stuff. I'm like, I'm showing you the video footage. The video ain't lying to you what's going on here.
Even by their own standards, right? I like fighting it on all things, right? So even using their own fucking numbers, I remember Googling daily and looking at the Google death toll or whatever and shortening it to New York City alone, right? 8.3 million people. When they instituted the vaccine mandate in August or whatever, September of 2021, the average daily death was fucking 10 out of 8.3 million people. Justify to me segregating 60% of Black New Yorkers from restaurants, gyms, whatever, under the guise of this is
who's the real racist?
7 for 10 fucking people. Come on, dude.
Yep. Who's the real you know, where's the real racism then? Okay? Targeting those people, not letting them work, not letting them go in fucking restaurants, not letting them go to gyms. You couldn't go to the library, nothing. Everything was like, show us the papers. Listen, we need to never forget what the fuck they did because they're not done yet. And you hear all the shit that's coming out of the G20, the World Economic Forum. They passed the digital health pass. Oh, there's going to be pandemic number 2 coming. Mr. Bill Gates with his crystal fucking ball. Why don't you tell us why you were hanging out with Epstein 46 fucking times, motherfucker? Why don't you talk about that? You notice that story went away, and then the main story, it's not the fucking pedos and the rest of the shit these motherfuckers were doing. Why doesn't anybody ask where the client list is?
Right.
What are you fucking mamalukes? Like, yo, this guy ran an international sex trafficking ring for fucking children, not 17-year-old models. Kids. Okay? And she was the first one to ever get convicted of sex trafficking to no one. And nobody asked, where's the list? Right? All of this shit. It's just like, you got to just say, hey, I'm clean and sober. I read books. I study. I fucking talk to people. I educate myself. Any remotely educated person would be like, something ain't adding up with all of this shit that went down. And then you listen to what they just said at the World Economic Forum and all those little snippets of shit coming out of there of what they plan on doing, 15-minute cities and fucking, the carbon health pass that we have the app. And everybody in the audience is like, ooh, oh yeah, you're into that? You need to know what I'm eating, what I'm doing, what I'm traveling. How many farts did I fucking cut on a particular day because of the methane? Like, and you're flying around 1,000 fucking private jets coming into Davos, and you're eating whatever you want. You do whatever. It's rules for thee. It's rules for me, and for thee, and not for me. They didn't lock down. They stopped people from seeing their loved ones who were dying. That's scumbag shit. These are the worst people ever. And I
and not only that, but not only when you take care of yourself are you less susceptible to the psyop, but also when you know history. Did you know, by the way, everybody, that in medieval times, for some reason, today in the media, that what they're leaning on is this idea that everything was 72 and sunny until like 100 years ago because of the Industrial Revolution, right?
get the
You know, there
fuck
was
out of
huge
here.
spikes. Look at the medieval heat wave for fucking a decade, I believe it was during the fucking
Listen,
Crusades. It was insane. The
I
world.
gotta say this. I've done the research. I put books out on it. Are we destroying the planet? Of course we are. Is fucking global warming and all of this fucking shit like I'm the jury's out on that. And here's the thing, just like with the Rona, they don't let the other experts speak. They've been banned. People who are climate experts and all of it don't get to fucking go on the media and say anything. If they make posts, they take it down. They ban their accounts. They shadow ban them. Let's have the fucking debates. Where was the debates over Rona? Where was the people debating all of these fucking people? The only one that called Fauci to task was Senator fucking Rand Paul. Did you take money from vaccine companies? I'm not required to answer that. Yeah, you are, because it's a fucking conflict of interest. You can't run a health agency through the United States government and mandate policy and take money at the same time. He took money from Moderna, right? All of this shit that went down. I started looking at it from the beginning, how Obama stopped. The 20-something scientists took out a petition against Fauci in Maryland. He was doing gain of function, right? If you know the history. So he got stopped. He went through another company, the Eco Health Alliance. Obama gave him millions of dollars, and he went to Wuhan to continue the fucking research there through the Eco Health Alliance. And they were doing the gain of function shit. And you got the vegans. Somebody ate a bat. Nah, fucking shut the fuck up. Shut up. Okay? They even tested the fucking DNA of where the virus came from. Everything led back to fucking Wuhan. Fauci's leaked emails. I can't have my fingerprints on this lab, you know, and all this shit when the shit came out. Do I think they released it? Who the fuck knows? I know one thing, it got out of that lab one way or the other, and it's very dangerous shit. And now Fauci just cut that motherfucker another check from the Eco Health Alliance to do the same shit, to do more gain of function research. So you got to look at the facts of what the fuck is going on. And what I hate is that anybody that stood up and spoke out, oh, he's a right-wing fucking conspiracy theorist, Trump supporter, redneck racist. Really, motherfucker? You know, really, motherfucker? I grew up in Alphabet City. You were racist, you got murdered, okay? Yeah. Don't fucking try to tell me shit. Right. That's the label that they put on everybody. If I call out motherfuckers doing drag shows and showing their fucking shit in front of kids, I get called fucking transphobic. They got their little labels for everything that doesn't agree with their agenda. And that's how they can pigeonhole you and try to cancel you. Fuck you. I had people try to cancel me in real life. What do you know about that? What do you know about that?
Yeah, no, tell that quick story of the you got a hit out on you, right?
I had several from robbing drug dealers. But I got, you know, I stood up against the dudes down there because listen, I wasn't intimidated. I grew up on the streets. I was going down to Alphabet City copping at fucking 14 years old when I was a runaway, you know, from St. John's Home for Boys. I stayed with junkies. They had me go down and cop bundles. I was never fucking scared. I grew up on the fucking streets. I grew up fighting. When I went to Spofford in 78, I was the only white dude. Biggest motherfucker in Indoc when you walk in says, you're going to be my Maytag. Anybody that got jail culture knows what that means. I said, nah, motherfucker, you're gonna be my Maytag. Everybody started laughing. Guess what? He tried to step to me up in B3. I put a fucking chair over his head. I knocked his homeboy out. Like that's the whole shit. Is like, I come from that shit. So when I got out of I caught a drug case in the Navy because I got locked up when I got out. I got busted with another case, and they offered me it was possession, which they were able to fucking whatever. They knocked it down to like disorderly conduct or some shit. But they offered me the Navy, and I took it, and I fucked up, right? So I started selling drugs in Norfolk, Virginia, and I got set up for the local cops, and they busted me for felony drug sales, right? Fucking level A narcotics, fucking cocaine, LSD, all that shit. So I split and I went back to Alphabet City. And I worked for the Bad Brains, and there was gangs down there. And, you know, if somebody stepped to you, you could not, that was the rule in the joint. You don't fucking show weakness. If you show weakness, they're going to fucking step all over you. You are going to be a Maytag. You are going to be cleaning their drawers and their sneakers and doing whatever the fuck else they tell you to do. That was never me. When I got out of being in an abusive foster home after almost 6 years, I said, nobody's ever going to put their hands on me again. That was it. I learned how to fight on the fucking streets for real. Not no fantasy life bullshit. These motherfuckers telling fantasy stories now. This was the real shit. Fucking 76, 13, I started going out on the streets and doing dirt. And then it led up to all the way to 78. But yeah, I was robbing drug dealers. They put KOSs on me, kill on sight, fucking all this shit. I had motherfuckers looking for me in LA. I continued this rampage for 2 years. So, you know, you got to go up and make amends with everybody that you did dirt to. That's part of the shit too, you know, but that just comes with the territory. So when people are like, I'm going to say bad things about you on the internet, on my fucking keyboard warriors, I'm like, bring it, motherfuckers. Bring it. Like, you know, I don't care, man. I'm not in this for the likes. That's what I tell people. I'm not in it for the likes and the followers and all this shit. I'm doing what I've always done. And that's what I told the punk rockers. I didn't change. You motherfuckers did. Read my whole catalog of music since 81, since I worked with the Bad Brains and met the Bad Brains in 1980. It's been the consistent message. Fearless vampire killers, the big takeover, fuck the government, all this shit, fuck politicians. Now, you guys in the punk hardcore scene sided with corrupt criminals against people in your own scene? Right. How is that even a possibility?
At the very least, I know I can fucking sleep at night. At the very least, I know I can sleep at night knowing I didn't.
That's right.
Nuts.
You know, some big author just came and copped and was like, you know, the people that refused got it right, man. And now I have to worry what's going to happen to me in 5 years. I'm seeing, you know, according to the mainstream media, there hasn't been one bad reaction out of the billions of people that opted in for the experiment. There hasn't been a single fucking case of anything happening to them. Holy fucking shit. You have 100% success rate with no side effects. That's never been done in fucking history. And I asked somebody yesterday that talked shit. I said, find me something that on the news where somebody had an adverse reaction. Because I know people that died personally. So that's all I'm saying is, this should be a lesson to you when they roll out the next shit and they try to get you to hate the next people and they try to fucking tell you these people got to go to camps and all the rest of this shit, because they did pass a bill before I left New York City that said the governor can declare you a health risk to the public and put you somewhere against your will until they deem you not a health threat. What the fuck is that?
This is what happens when you trust white liberals.
That's right. And, you know, and that's the whole thing. And listen, I got friends in the police department too, right? That are my boys that go to hardcore shows. They're fucking cool motherfuckers. One of them walked in front of a bullet for fucking somebody he didn't even fucking know, right? So, you know, that's the whole thing. When they were telling me, like my one friend, he was involved in the gun confiscation task force at the 7-5 in Brooklyn. If anybody wants a history lesson, watch the documentary The 7-5 on Netflix. You'll see what that neighborhood was like. So the white liberals come in who have armed security, live in gated neighborhoods and protected and wealthy and all this shit. And they said, oh, this is so racist. We have to do away with this policy. Was there Mameluke cops that come from fucking Long Island that don't know how to interact with people of color in the projects? Of course. You had them fucking taking people coming from work and searching them and shit like that. But that was the fucking exception rather than the rule. So then now they did away with the task force, right? And look what's happening. You got fucking 13-year-olds walking around with fucking Uzis and guns shooting people. And guess who wants those policies to come back? The people that live in those areas. The people that live in those areas are affected by the policies that did. And now look at these DAs and all these motherfuckers letting complete criminals back out on the street. That's George Soros. Those are George Soros-backed DAs, prosecutors, and judges. Previously, I know the law. If you got caught with an illegal handgun, it was an automatic bullet in Rikers Island. Automatic year. For every bullet in the gun, you did a year upstate. Now you can hold up somebody with a fucking loaded pistol, and it's a misdemeanor. So George Soros has said, we need to bring down America in order for the one world global government that we want to install. America is standing in the way. Go look at this motherfucker's words of what he himself said. You know, why is there criminals coming across the fucking border, dude? Like, listen, if you are a refugee, fine, go through the legal channels and do what you got to do and get into the country. There was always that, and I was down with it, and fucking, I'm like, cool. What's going on now? Now, if you speak out against it, xenophobic and this and that. Well, these people, there's bad elements that are coming across that border too, bringing in fentanyl, child sex trafficking, murderers that Venezuela and the rest of them, just like they did Castro, sent off, emptied out their
to get across the border. They're using kids to get across the border and then throwing them back over to the other side. It's insane.
It's crazy, man. And you know what? Listen, we have to be sane. I like, you know, my spiritual teacher, Prabhupada, like if you look at everything he said, most of it would be deemed, you know, conservative. Like, listen, don't fucking rape people. Child predators should be killed. Right? Now they protect them. Right? All of this stuff. And some of it the liberals agree with too. We shouldn't be killing animals. You know? But Prabhupada said the reason for war and insanity on the planet is due to killing billions of animals and killing unlimited amounts of children in the womb, right? Well, look what they're doing. Where's all the abortion clinics set up? Why'd they hate on, listen, I don't agree with what Ye was saying about, you know, Jewish people, anything like that. I don't roll like that. But when he started saying one half of that, only 50%, the genocide starts in the fucking womb of black people. Only more babies were killed in New York City than what have been born. That's the genocide. Why isn't anybody talking about that? Sure, I agree with a women's right to choose, but why aren't there programs set up for them to either give the baby up for adoption or do whatever? Why is the only solution what they're doing? It's not my job to tell anybody what to do. Like, if I go murder somebody, I got to suffer the karma for that. If I kill a fucking animal and eat an animal, in my eyes, you have to suffer for that. If anybody goes out and terminates a pregnancy, that's a life. That's a life. They tried to reduce it to like it's goo on a fucking microscope slide. Bullshit. There, you know. So everybody has to everybody stay in their lane and everybody has to do what they feel they have to do right in life. But the thing is, we have people behind the scenes manipulating things, right? There's people behind the curtains. They're controlling the media. They're controlling what resources get put out there, all of it. So to me, I'm like, I look at the issue. I don't adhere to any fucking political party. I'm always like, okay, what's the issue? Where do I? It's like Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? I'm conservative on some shit and I'm liberal on some other shit. I look at what the thing is that's being discussed. Anybody that says I'm going to agree with everything a fucking liberal says, or I'm going to do everything that the Republicans say, is a fucking whack job.
That's why
I don't agree.
Right. That's why the show is called Conservatish, because it's like here's, and let's start wrapping up in a few minutes. But I really want. Here's an example of ways that I personally am a fucking dirtbag liberal. Apparently, is that I'm against the death penalty personally. Right now, my experience in prisons, I'm sober 21 years, almost 21 years in a couple of weeks. And my experience is I got to do volunteer work at prisons, at one specifically in California for about 8 years. And hearing about, these guys that I knew in there, it was minimum to medium security state. And these are guys who had done the worst thing, like the murdering gang motherfucker, right? Right? I'm not saying they deserve to be out on the street, but I've watched them change their fucking lives, right? And I've watched them make amends to society. I've watched them become spiritual people who are altruistic, who help motherfuckers. I've watched them do that. And when I stopped, I found this last night. These guys, when I was leaving this for the last time, I did it for years. This whole thing is full up of guys thanking me in English and in Spanish, right? For my service there, like showering me with love. These are not people who, like, these are people who changed their life. They're not, still gang shit, whatever. But like experiences like that, stories relationships like that changed.
Listen, if you saw what was the documentary that was about the prison system? It was based on that constitutional fucking. I posted it all the time. It was about how there's legal slavery in prisons and all that. You remember what that documentary was called? The 13th. Right. So I just did a documentary working with prisoners in California. It's called 30 to Life. Every one of these guys did over fucking 20 years in the worst fucking prisons. They did gang crimes and everything else you could fucking imagine. Same shit. But I look at myself, and that's how I came up with the idea. I could have been one of those guys. I had motherfuckers try to recruit me to do fucking crazy shit because when I was locked up, we went to Rahway State Prison. We went to fucking Fishkill Max for the Scared Straight program, which was 78, right? So like, I had people even, I just always had this thing where my father fucking beat people up after his boxing career for the fucking Irish mobsters. He was a bag man. So I come out of that world, like, and I could have been one of those people if people didn't give me a chance. And that's what I say. I'm not down with this whole bail reform where fucking people that are raping people and stabbing people and shooting people are getting put on the street. They need to be going to prison. Absolutely, 100%. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That's what Beretta said. I did my time. But here's the thing. What's the programs that we have in the prison systems? Is it to make them better fucking criminals? Or are we giving them something to change their fucking lives? Listen, Joe Biden voted for all the drug laws and all these people. They passed all this crazy shit. Clinton, Clinton plays the sax. Black people love him. Clinton let the drugs come into his airport in Arkansas, and through fucking Bush, who was in the CIA and the vice president at the time, they put all of that crack in the black neighborhoods, right? It caused chaos, murders, destruction of black lives. Then they invested in the prisons stock and then passed the draconian drug laws.
And
these are scumbags.
Who passed the First Step Act, by the way? I remember watching that video.
Tell me, you know.
Thousands of people got out of prison early, and not early, like too early, but they did their time, signed off. Donald J. fucking Trump.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like all these rappers were like, yo, that motherfucker was never a racist till he was the president. Listen, I don't defend him because he's done a lot of other fucking crazy shit. Whatever the fuck, I'm not like, you know.
Right is right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, right is right. And did he do fucked up shit? Yeah. Did he do some shit that was good? He passed warp speed and then had the general say, Americans don't have a choice. We will enter your premises and hold you down against your will. Fuck you. No, you won't. Because my dog will be ripping your fucking face off. But the point is this, man. We got to look to the issue of everything. I don't adhere to any politics. I've never voted in my fucking life. I look to the issue. I step back. Cool heads prevail. I research it, right? I actually do the research and find out what the fuck is behind all this shit, you know? And when you start doing that, then you'll get the answers that you want, because the answers that people want are not being told. The mainstream media, I think it's like 95% of all media is controlled by a few groups, you know, that are controlling all of the media and the narrative. And that's why the last thing they're talking about in Davos, they were talking about a government ID to get you onto the internet. Why is that? Because it's the last place for free thought. The exchange of ideas and thought are happening between people. My first account got taken down. 127,000 people following the page. John Joseph Cro-Mag. Why did they do that? Because they said I posted videos of misinformation. I didn't. I posted videos of the experts who now turn out to be fucking right. So give me my page back, motherfuckers. No, sorry, it's gone.
This is over and over. We'll start wrapping up. Over and over. This is the thing. You got to be true to yourself, everybody, and you got to trust yourself. I meditate every day, or I try to do every day. I fucking try to make amends when I fuck up, because I fuck up. I'm a human being. You know, I try to, exactly, self-realization.
Greatest book ever, The Science of Self-Realization by Prabhupada. Turn the camera in on yourself. Stop worrying about everybody else. Put the lens in on yourself. What the fuck is in here? My spirituality saved my life. That's why I was like, yo, I was a monk for 2 years, 82 to 84, practicing martial arts, getting up 2 o'clock in the morning, cold showers, austerity, no sex life, no nothing. So like, I know what that's all about. I had to do that deep internal cleanse, and I want to leave this whole thing on a good note. That's what people need to do. The government and the media and everybody's taking you away from your center and fucking telling you that this is all the important shit. It's not. It's not. They're driving you like fucking sheep. Care about this, bah. Care about that, bah. We need to care about what's in here. And that's why I never faltered. I never fucking listened to any of it. I trusted my intellect. I trusted my spirituality. I put my faith in God. I chanted Hare Krishna. That's what I still do to this day. And, you know, I think everybody needs to be looking into the self and what's in their heart, because charity starts at home. Do the work on yourself. I got a book coming out on addiction that I'm writing. I just lost my brother at the end of October after a 20-year struggle with fucking drugs. Everybody's relapsing. Everybody's fucking, you know, people that never did drugs are having drug problems, alcoholism, overeating, food, all of this shit. And that leads to medication. So who again is profiting? I have a friend that's a psychiatrist, and he doesn't prescribe drugs. And he's like, dude, I can't even tell you the amount of prescriptions that have been written for depression since they started doing this shit to everybody in 2020. Okay? This is all for certain entities to make money and stress you out and all this shit. Just, man, get up in the morning and just untune, man. Block it out. Do some meditation. Go for a fucking run. Go for a fucking swim. Help people. I've been feeding the homeless in New York City since fucking 83, 82. Fucking fed KRS-One in the shelter on 3rd Street with the Hare Krishnas. Like, do service, man. Love each other. Listen, their whole method is to divide and conquer. And people fell for it. You can't fall for it. Come together. Bob Marley, all these great people that tried to, look at fucking what they did to fucking Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. Everybody that started bringing the people together got whacked, right? So you see what the deal is. Divide and conquer. Keep the people fighting each other so they don't turn and fucking put the camera on us so that they know what the fuck we're doing, how we're fucking them over, right? But that's why I say, just pull the fuck back. The yogi is able, like the turtle, to pull his senses and mind back into the fucking shell. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be concerned with, where is the 24-hour news cycles telling people to eat better and exercise? And here's gym passes, and don't eat genetically modified food sprayed with glyphosate. Don't eat processed food. Don't eat all of this bullshit that's causing the obesity, right? There was never that campaign, right? They called what I was saying misinformation, because I'm talking about certain things could build your immune system. Anything you said that is to build the immune system got censored. How the fuck is that? And that started with Rockefeller, who did it in the early fucking 1900s. He changed the medical system. I talk about it in my book, Unfuck Your Health. So people don't even know how it got to be like herbs and natural cures are quackery. And this is the only shit that's going to be taught in the medical textbooks, because I am an oil man and these are petroleum-based drugs. When they started causing cancer, he started the American Cancer Society to control that narrative too.
And I love that thing in that video where it said, this is the natural ways, the vitamins, the minerals, the sunlight, the self-care, the meditation, blah, blah, blah. This is all shit we've been doing since the dawn of time. And now it's called alternative medicine.
Right. But here's the person you got to check out, because Codex Alimentarius is what all of this shit is. In the guise of safety and all this shit, the FDA and the pharmaceutical companies are hijacking everything. They just passed the fucking thing that you have to put all the herbs are now listed as medicine, right? So they're going to regulate all this shit. Dr. Laibow, Laibow, she's been speaking out against it forever. She predicted in 2007 with Jesse Ventura that they were going to fucking cause some shit's going to go down and they're going to fucking mass inject everybody and all this. She was saying this shit years ago. She knew what the agenda was through the UN and the World Health Organization, which is run by China. Why now are we fucking... The biggest contributors to them are who? China and Bill Gates, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? So we have to fucking pull back on the reins and say, yo, you know what? You're not going to fucking cause me to panic. And they weaponized fear and all this shit that they did. I'm not going to fall for that. The last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ma Suchaha, do not fear. I have no fear. I faced death hundreds of times in my life. I have no fear of anything like that. What I fear is my own incompetency. I feel I have a fear of, like, failure at times. There's legit fears that I experience in life, but hey, it's not because the guy reading the script on television and from the teleprompter is telling me what to believe and what to think and who not to trust and who's the enemy. And who's our enemy?
Those things that I'm actually afraid of are usually caused by, when you scratch it a little bit, fear. So the fear feeds on itself. What makes me
That's it.
incompetent, what makes me not take care of myself, which makes me gain weight, which makes me afraid that people don't like me, which makes me eat, which makes me gain weight, which fear, 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 fear. Fuck that.
Fear is an acronym, right? What is the acronym? Face everything and rise, or forget everything and run. And a majority of the population, they fucking ran. I didn't run. I was fucking running. I was running over the fucking Brooklyn Bridge, and I trained for a fucking Ironman. I finished 2 books, and I got a record done during the so-called pandemic.
Right.
All while everything was locked down. Where there's a will, there's a way. Improve yourself. They were telling you, stay inside. I'm on my bike in 70 degrees. Fuck you, riding out to Rockaway Beach with my boy. Nah, I'm not staying inside. I'm not going to wear a mask on the fucking street. I'm not going to social distance 6 feet. Oh, so 5 feet, 9 inches and a half, I'm going to die? Who comes up with this shit? They're sitting there laughing at us of how fucking manipulative. And I just posted the picture in my stories about all these fucking 20-year-old girls running track with masks on outside. Like, look what they were able to get away with. And they're using this, they're piggybacking all of this fucked up shit behind everything that they just did. They're piggybacking all of these new technologies and the fucking digital currency and the digital health pass and all of this shit, because what did Klaus Schwab say? That COVID was allow us to enforce many policies and use many technologies that we will be increasing to do in the future. You think they're stopping now? They're on a tear. Wake up, knuckle up, and guard your fucking grill, because these people are just getting started. Remember that.
And
that's coming from a 60-year-old New York motherfucker.
Beautiful. And also, if you've been on the other side of that and you were, or you did sell your ass for a little bit, don't worry about it. Forgive yourself, do the healing work in order to get that shit out. And there's also a lot of resources out there, by the way, that you can potentially detox your body from.
Exactly. There is. Look it up. But here's the thing. Like, I was never against anybody that did what they needed to do. Unfortunately, we didn't get that same respect. And that's the whole thing too. I know people that had to do that shit because they were forced to do it, which should have never happened. I got kids. I got a mortgage. I got to feed my kids. They're going to take my fucking job. Yo, go for yours. I don't have no problem with you doing that. What happened to the my body, my choice shit? What the fuck happened to that? Where's the Me Too crowd with all this shit that these fucking, that these other people are doing now? Right? All of this shit that's going down. Where's the fucking Me Too crowd?
Yeah, the MS-13 raping fucking kids along the way coming up through Mexico. Me Too.
And trafficking young fucking girls and everything else. Open border. I got friends down there, man. The cops have been pulling over van loads of fucking unaccompanied minors. You're not hearing the real shit that's going down. You know? There's a great organization run by Tim Ballard. It's called Our Rescue. And he's ex something in the government. I think it's CIA or Secret Service or something. So he hires retired special forces, and they go all over the world to stop these fucking sex trafficking rings and these human trafficking rings that are going on. So, you know, there's a lot of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, it looks like right here you can see.
Yeah, we lost it.
Operation Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah. Oh, you opened this up.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. Tim Ballard's a bad motherfucker, man. Like, and I know retired special forces guys that have worked with him and fucking gone. Look where they go, all over the world to stop this shit. And now it's coming through the fucking southern border, man.
Right.
Along with fentanyl and all the other fucking shit that's happening, and criminals coming. You got to vent these people. How the fuck do I have to be showing proof of something, right? And all this other shit. And those guys and people were coming across untested in the middle of the so-called Why didn't they ever shut the border down during the pandemic? Can anybody tell me that?
Apparently, you still can't come into the country if, say, you have a passport and you're coming from, I don't know, Ibiza. You can't come in unless you're vaccinated into America,
Exactly.
unless
But
you're off
unless you
in
come across the
Mexico
sun. That's
and
what
you,
I
you
told my
grab a
boy. I
kid.
said, just go to Mexico and walk across, bro. They'll even give you a fucking phone and a free apartment.
Yeah.
So listen, it's got to be like, listen, man, asking questions and being sober minded and being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, don't try to place your fucking label on me, man. I don't call myself none of that. I'm a fucking spirit soul having a material experience, and you're trying to ruin my material experience. Yeah. So we're gonna have beef. Let's just say that.
Stop being fucking narcs. Stop being fucking child. Stop being fucking.
Jello Biafra told people to rat people out to the FBI. If you know they've been to January 6th, contact the FBI. California, Uber Ali's, California.
I swear to God.
Government flu, all the shit that he talked. What a fucking piece of fucking shit hypocrite.
Because white liberals are the worst people on the fucking planet. I'm just saying. I'm not saying all of them.
I look at it. I'm not quick to judge like that either, but I'm saying, like, where's most of it coming from? It's coming from the honkies.
That's what I'm saying.
Leave me alone.
As a man,
I'm down with the brothers. I'm rolling with the brothers over here. We ain't falling for your bullshit.
Yeah. No, Brownsville stayed unvaccinated.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was
East New York. They're like, and here's the thing. They think they're so intelligent with their college degrees. I'm like, yo, Charlie Brown on my corner, who's a homeless crackhead, had better sense than all you motherfuckers. He's like, man, fuck that shit. What these motherfuckers did to people, I ain't no way I'm trusting them motherfuckers. Plus, it's free. Plus, they paying you to take it. What? Nah. They was rolling through Brooklyn trying to pay motherfuckers $100 to get online to make it was staged to make it look like all of these black people are doing their bit for society and their community. They paid him $100 fucking dollars. What the fuck was that?
Ugh.
Craziness. It's all craziness. And everybody lost their goddamn minds, man. Like I said, we got to get back. It's about the sadhus and the teachers and the spiritual people. The real deal McCoys, not these fucking pseudo motherfuckers that are out there cheating people and falling for the government shit too. They reached out to all the religious organizations, to the head of the churches and everything, and yoga societies and every religion, and tried to get them. Look what the governor of New York did. You're my apostles. Jesus wants you to get back. I wear a necklace that says it. You have to be my apostles. Smart people, we know what we had to do, but there's other people.
Right. We're better than everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Same thing. Fuck you and fuck you too.
I'm reading this book on this Michael Palin book called Erebus, where it's mostly about a couple of ships and exploring. But one of the things they talk about is a Victorian era imperialism, right? Where they go down to, South Africa, they go down to New Zealand, and they see all these tribes that are uncivilized, right? And they're going to civilize them, which usually means fucking killing them. And it's under the guise, they really believed, these imperialist motherfuckers really believed they were helping science they were helping medicine come into the indigenous. They were helping. Same fucking thing goes for you white liberals now. Ain't no fucking different. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
Stay in your lane, man. Believe what the fuck you want to believe and stay in your fucking lane. I mean, like even anybody who's a black conservative, look how, what do they call them? Uncle Toms and all the rest of this fucking bullshit. The black conservative women, what are you, the house N-word, sleeping with the fucking slave man, like all of this shit. Like maybe they just don't want to be involved in your shit.
Although I
love when you hear about these people that tried to go to like areas where like you know, cannibals still existed and fucking cut them up and fucking made shish kebabs out of them.
Oh, you remember that island a few years ago where
Yeah,
anybody who came, the indigenous tribes would just shoot them right in the fucking.
yeah,
I will say though, I keep saying we're gonna wrap up. Sorry, but there's this one. I posted a video, a series of videos, 6 videos called "Based Black Uber Driver," where I got in an Uber in San Diego. And me and this cat were talking a little bit, and all of a sudden I realized, oh shit, he starts going off about the liberals, and I'm like, yes, I'm so excited, right? And so I recorded and I posted on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm up to, it's the most viral video I've ever had. It's 48,000, 50,
yeah.
almost 50,000 views, and
Talk to the
majority,
Rastafarians.
right, the majority of the feedback has not only been positive, but it's been quite fucking black, by the way. Okay,
Yeah.
so I mean,
Look
maybe
at the Rastas. Do not take no Babylon shot, man. Babylon try to kill you to ass. Why the fuck we, man? Them come and tell me I need to take this shit, man. I got the religious exemption, man. As a Rasta, man. Italist. Pure item. Me not put no injection, some government toxic business.
Yeah, Pfizer's gonna give me a blood clot. Hey,
and here's the bumbo clot, man. Everybody getting the blood clots now. But where's everybody protesting outside of Pfizer's headquarters on fucking 3rd Avenue and 42nd? Where's that? You know, they lied in the trial data. They did all this shit. Where's the picketing outside of their fucking spot over there in New York City?
New York Freedom Rally. Everybody look up New York Freedom Rally.
Up. Did they go to Pfizer?
Yeah, they've been all over the place.
Oh, that's fucking great.
They've been outside of Eric Adams, mansion over at the governor's mansion at like.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta tell you. So I got pictures to prove it. So my buddy, like plant-based, he's a runner. He was my lawyer, right? They all did fundraisers for Eric Adams and dinners, and I attended them, and I was like, this was before the band, whatever. And I'm like, this motherfucker seems all right. We kicked it, street stories. I knew, the precincts he was in and all the rest of it. And then, like, soon as he gets in, I'm like, they're going to flip this dude. He's talking about reducing the crime and all this shit. And guess who he had a big meeting with? Bill Gates. Okay? He met with Bill Gates. All right? He's in the city. He said, well, I'm going to have to look at this whole mandate situation. And then he's in the city with Pfizer's world headquarters, and Gates meets with him and all the rest of this shit. He comes out like, everything's staying in place the way it is. And now he's like, look at the crimes out of control. He said, it's going to cost us, I don't know how many billions of dollars to take care of the people that are in the fucking city now. The crime's out of control. Right? Why aren't you firing these DAs and fucking all the rest of these people and prosecutors that are letting criminals back out on the street? So it's all an agenda, and the agenda is to create chaos. And nobody's standing in the way of George Soros and what these people are doing. That's why I'm down here. I didn't want to be having to deal with like knocking motherfuckers out on the street every day or whatever, because, and God forbid something happens, I get shot or who knows what, So like, I'm down out here, and you know what? Everybody down here is very respectful. Like, that's the other thing. They make everybody look like they're fucking knuckle dragging retards that fucking live down here. I'm like, I've had some of the most intellectual conversations with the people that live down here. They're fucking smart, dude. You're dumb because you trusted what the fucking media guy was telling you, who's reading a script that was given to him by the corporations. ABC's Evening News brought to you by Pfizer. Okay. These guys didn't trust it, but they tried to pigeonhole everybody that doesn't do what the government says as a bunch of redneck, racist, white supremacists, anti-vaxxer. They just came with every single fucking... My next door neighbors are African-American veterans, airborne, that fucking are like, yo, ain't nobody coming up this road to fuck with us in this subdivision. And they got an arsenal Anytime you want to borrow my shit, Johnny, I'm like, I'm good. You know, I got whatever, you know.
But if you let me go, if you let me hide in your bathtub when the shit goes down, you let me.
Oh no, these dudes ain't like that. He's like, I got fucking 40,000 rounds and 17 guns. When they come up this road over here, I got something for every one of them.
Beautiful.
But that's just the whole thing. Like, it's a deterrent. There has to be a deterrent. That's why they're smashing up the cities. They're fucking robbing motherfuckers left, right, and central. New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago.
But I'll bring it back from macro to micro because it's the same. Like we were talking about earlier, bullies back in the day didn't think they were better. Here's the thing about bullies. Once you sock a motherfucker in his jaw, he's less willing to come for you. He'll go for the softer one, right?
Exactly.
For yourself, people. It's possible, you know?
Well, that's what bullies do. And that's what they did. They try to bully everybody. And when that didn't work, then it was like turn everybody against, you know, turn everybody on D block against that fucking inmate, whatever the fuck, you know. It's like I didn't fall for none of it, man. I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm gonna keep doing what I've always done. I'm not changing. The punk rock motherfuckers and the hardcore scene, and even the rap dudes. I love Ice Cube said, fuck you if you tried to make me take that shit. Fuck you. And then you had rappers that fucking went on social media, you know, telling motherfuckers with their band-aids what to do. So do what you want to do, man. It's not that's my whole problem. The ones who claim to be liberals were the most unliberal motherfuckers I ever met in my life. You know, it's crazy. Just leave me alone, or you're gonna have a fucking problem. You know.
Yeah.
I was standing. I'll just tell you one final story, and this was like the beginning of 2022. I'm out and I'm talking to my man who's like a security guard at Stuytown on the low. This brother's fucking diesel, right? Big brother. This fucking little white liberal dude comes by. We're standing outside. He walks by and goes, put a fucking mask on, you assholes. Fuck you both. And walks into the bagel store. Well, I had my 100-pound Rottweiler pit bull, so I walked in with him. And I go, yo, what the fuck did you just say? I said, come. I said, say that shit again right now. But he wouldn't. And the lady was like, you can't be in here without a mask and the dog and blah, blah, blah. So I said, I'm going to be waiting outside for you, homie. Okay? I'll tie my dog up. So what did he do? He went and complained to Stuytown about the security guard that I threatened him, and the security guard did nothing and tried to get the guy fucking fired.
And I bet he thinks he's a white ally. I bet he thinks he's a fucking white ally, doesn't he?
Yeah, the brother was just like, yo, that motherfucker, he told me yesterday, he's like, yo, that motherfucker called fucking, no, he thinks, the white guy thinks he's a black ally. He thinks he's helping whatever. Stay in your lane, dude, because I like, you know, Mike Tyson said it. You know, the internet and all this shit has made motherfuckers comfortable with saying shit you get punched in your fucking mouth for on the street. I don't, you know, that's the world I come from. When I talk shit, it was up close and personal. And don't start none and there won't be none. They need to remember that policy because that's what the law on the streets. Don't start none and there won't be none. But then when you rally all the forces against me who's just trying to live my life and be left alone, yo, that shit is like the first blood. Remember that movie with Stallone? That was great because he just wanted to be left the fuck alone. But no, Brian Denny had to fuck with him.
You drew
the
first
white
blood.
cop. The
You
white
drew
cop.
first blood. Fucking John Joseph. Fucking great stuff. I'm gonna share your Instagram here. Everybody go find him, John Joseph Discipline on Instagram. Even though he was at 125, he's at 35. Let's go follow him.
Yeah, that's the new account, and you know, like that's where I live. You see them fucking buildings over there, and
yeah,
and Greta, you know, yeah.
And then also, His band Bloodclot came out with a new album a month ago. So
Yeah, it's doing good
fucking
too.
fantastic. I really love
Thank
super
you.
just nasty. Makes me want to. I miss mosh pits so fucking bad. I just want to knock them. You know, you knock them down and then you immediately pick them up, you dust them off, and then try to knock them
Yeah,
down.
it was John Belushi's birthday yesterday, and I'm like, 1981, he knocked me flying at a Bad Brains fucking Black Flag show at Irving Plaza, and then that was in June, and then in October he got us all on Saturday Night Live when he got Fear to play, and we trashed the fucking set, and there was fucking like fights going on, and like, you know, it was just, man, New York was like, I'm doing a documentary now with the dude who did Morning Sun, the Dave Navarro documentary, and it's all about the history of down in that area, even going back to Prohibition. It was just such a special place. Like, so, you know, we're in the research. The research is already there, but like we're starting to align now to start shooting and all this stuff, and we got some good people involved. So, you know, I won't be interviewing any of the white snowflakes that live down there now, though. That's for sure.
Mustaches. Anything else to promote?
I'm working on another book on addiction, and I got the coaching business. You can find, if anybody wants, I coach in mindset, business, all this shit. I've, you know, got clients all over the world, and you know, that's about it, man. Got a couple Ironmans coming up this year. Just, yeah, everything, man. Working on new music.
Fantastic.
Just staying busy, man. And most importantly, dealing with the self, because that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Occupy your time turning the camera inside. This goes to all you liberals out there, or anybody for that matter. It could go for conservatives too. Stay in your fucking lane. Don't try to force your shit on anybody else. Turn the fucking lens inward and see who the fuck you are. Stop worrying about everybody else. Somebody wants to be gay or trans or whatever, fucking let them do it. Who gives a shit? But when you start putting books in schools and having kids that you're fucking going to fucking push your shit on them, that's where I draw the line. That's the difference. And it's the same thing, you know, with you know, anybody for that matter, trying to push their shit on anybody else. A lot of the conservatives are Christians. And what do they tell me? You're going to hell if you don't accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You're going to burn in hell on a shish kebab up your butt. I'm like, dude, so you mean to tell me every person, every monk in India who wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning and meditates on God all day and goes out and helps people all day long, they're going to hell? Absolutely. Well, that's called dogma, and I don't subscribe to that either.
Right. My favorite spiritual teachers are the people who go like, I think it's this.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think.
Or like, I'm just doing what's right for me. This is my path. But, you know, if you want to check it out, here's a book by Prabhupada. You can go to bhaktivedantavedic.library.org. All the books for free. You can read them, listen to them. There's a free app, no charge. Free of charge. See that? The Bhagavad Gita, all of it. And that's what I say to anybody is like, this is the real thing that they fear the most, is people elevating their consciousness, because then you don't care about all this materialistic bullshit that they're trying to make you think is so important. Okay. Yeah. So this is an amazing, like all of those books I've read, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the Ishopanishads, all of it. That's what I follow. And hey, to me, I look at it this way: whatever makes you a better devotee of God and a better servant of humanity, then that's the great process. Everything else is bullshit. So if you're following dogma that tells you to hate on somebody because they don't do what you do, I'm rejecting that.
Fucking amen.
Great talking to you. I gotta get in a fucking swim today, and I'm starting to ramp up my training for these Ironmans this year. But
badass. I've got my first training session tomorrow, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good stuff, man. Where are you at now again?
Austin, Texas, sir.
Like in the city itself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here comes the bear. Come here, bear. What are you doing? Rottweiler pit. Damn, bear. Say hello. What's that? Yeah. All right.
Hey, man, thank you so much again. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you, man. You know, and listen, what did fucking Public Enemy say? Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. It's a sequel. As an equal, can I get this through to you?
Yeah.
We're all equal, man. Let's fucking have conversations and dialogue and discuss philosophy and stop with the bullshit.
Man.
God bless, man. Good talking, bro.
You, man. I'll see you around.
All right.